recording the session. Okay, and I'm sharing the screen. That's it. Okay, can you see the material?
Yep.
Yes.
We can see it.
Okay, so in this presentation, you will see three kinds of allophones that are closely connected one to the other, and they're quite easy to identify. Yeah, the first one is aspiration. Okay, aspiration, as the material says, is the voiceless interval between the release of a voiceless plosive and the voicing of the following vowels. So whenever we have any of the three voiceless plosive sounds followed, mainly, says the rule, but you will see later that does not apply to all of the examples. When any of those three voiceless plosive are followed by a vowel, those plosive release an extra burst of air. Yes, whenever they are followed by those vowels. So, in other words, as it says, aspiration is a strong burst of breath that's what it says, that accompanies the release of some obstruent. In English, aspirated consonants are allophones in complementary distribution with their unaspirated counterparts. Do you remember the meaning of complementary distribution? Who can tell me? Can anybody tell me the concept of complementary distribution? Any of you? None of you?
Complementary distribution are those that never can happen in the place of another allophone.
Uh-huh. Are you sure?
Yes.
Absolutely sure.
Yes.
Okay, good. Very good. Is that those allophones cannot be replaced? Yes, or placed in the same way or used in the same way as other allophones are. Okay? So there are various degrees of aspiration, but only presence and absence of aspiration will be considered. Yeah, will consider aspiration and unaspiration. When do we have aspiration? When the English voiceless fortis plosives sounds, yes, the bilabial, the alveolar, and velar are followed by vowels in accented syllables. Yes, it must be in accented syllable. That is the main rule for having aspiration. It must be in accented syllable. And which kind of vowels will follow those plosive sounds in accented syllable? Can you tell me that?
Strong vowels.
For example?
Vowel number. No, vowel number 3. Like.
Vowel number 3?
Yeah, I think. Wait.
Which other?
Vowel number.
Vowel.
5.
No, not vowel. Vowel.
Vowel.
Which
Vowel.
vowel?
Vowel.
It goes with vowel number 5. Vowel.
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 Yeah.
Good.
Sorry.
Not vowel. Vowel.
Vowel.
Yes.
Vowel.
Good. So any
Okay.
vowel except for schwa, because whenever we have a syllable that contains schwa, it will be most of the time, yeah, if not all of the case, it will be unstressed syllable. Yes,
Wait. So
no stress.
wait. Quick question. So does not like weak vowels like number 2 and number. What was the other one?
I don't know. You tell me.
The weak centralized vowels. I mean.
Okay. Yeah, those vowels can be in accented syllable. Yes, we have pet, and it's with vowel number 3. We have pit, and it's vowel number 3. But whenever is the schwa present, is most likely to be unaccented the syllable. So I continue.
Okay.
The diacritic for aspiration is like this little glottal sound above of the consonant sound. Yes, it's a superscript form of the symbol of the voiceless glottal fricative. Yes, it's like a small glottal sound. For instance, this bilabial voiceless plosive represents the voiceless bilabial plosive, yes, I said, when aspirated. Yes, for example, and another example for the rest of the consonants would be peel, till, and kill. Yes, those sounds are aspirated because whenever you pronounce it, you make an extra burst of air that is mainly caused by the aspiration, yes, by the plosive of those consonant sounds. Yes, they are plosive, they are gonna make an explosion when they are released. Yes, and because of the voicing of the following vowel, those sounds become aspirated. Yes.
Right.
Then we have the an aspiration. Sorry, I have to sneeze. Okay, it won't happen. Then we have the absence of aspiration. Absence of aspiration takes place when any of the 3 voiceless plosive are preceded by the voiceless alveolar fricative. Yeah, it's not the same to pronounce peel and pronounce spill. There's no aspiration in spill, neither in still or skill. Yes, it's not the same. Can you feel the difference between till and still?
Yes.
What about the rest of you? I have only 2 students today.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So far, so good. Do you have any questions?
Carla,
Yes.
in an aspiration, we have to match with some diacritic or
An
no?
aspirated sounds are not marked with any kind of diacritic.
Okay.
You just leave it like that because of that. They are unaspirated. So aspiration is one of the easiest allophones. Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
If we have a voiceless alveolar fricative following the plosive, can be possible the aspiration?
Who's talking?
Miguel.
Good. Can you give me an example?
No, I don't know an example. just a question. It's only a question.
Okay. The
If
alveolar
the word,
voiceless
if the alveolar fricative, it's at the end of the word or something like that.
at the end of the word. No, in any case of that, it won't happen. If the voiceless alveolar fricative follows, not precedes, follows the any of the voiceless plosive, we don't have anything.
Okay.
Sorry, we have nothing. And that is the case when that alveolar fricative precedes, yes, as here in the example, spill, still.
For example, the
kill.
word kills.
No, because aspiration only affects the voiceless plosives.
Yes, but if we have the word kills, with the alveolar fricative at the end, but at the beginning we have plosive and then a vowel sound.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do because you have the voiceless plosive. You have then a vowel, and finally, no, then you have an alveolar. Yes, alveolar lateral, and finally, very away from the voiceless plosive is the
Okay.
alveolar fricative. So there's no connection at all.
Okay. Yeah, I understood. Thank
Do
you.
you understand? Yeah.
Yeah.
Only if you have one consonant sound next to the other. That is the only case in which it's going to happen.
Thank you.
So then we have this video that I uploaded. Yeah, that it's a scene from France. I don't know if any of you could watch it, or you never could play it, reproduce it.
France?
Never could.
I could see.
I could.
No, I couldn't, please.
Ok,
The
ok.
sixth
¿Me
complementary?
unifican el criterio, por favor? ¿Sí o no?
No.
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 Yo sí lo pude ver.
No,
Desde
pero
el
con el
Power.
link no puedo ver.
¿Desde el Power lo pudieron ver?
Desde el Power no. Con el link nomás.
Yo descargué el Power y ahí lo pude ver.
Yo no pude de ninguna manera.
Ok.
No pude
Bueno, por
ver
eso
por
también,
cierto video.
cuando lo subí, ahora lo volví a subir, adjunté los links ahí en la descripción del material para que directamente vayan a través del link a verlo. ¿Ok? Good.
Ok.
Okay.
Tell me if you can listen to the video. I don't know if you could.
Action! We have to find the rest of the platoon.
Forget the platoon. The platoon is gone.
What?
I found the picture.
What picture?
A picture of my wife in your pack.
You went through my personal property?
Why do you have a picture of Paulette on your pack?
Because, Vincent, we were lovers. For 2 years.
Wonderful.
Good. So, which are the sounds that you could feel that they split whenever they pronounce it?
For example, the word pack.
Mm-hmm. How did it sound?
Pack. Like
Okay. Any other?
like with a stronger
Carla.
plosive sound.
Mm-hmm. Sí, ¿quién dijo? Carla.
Yo, Juli.
Ok.
¿Por qué en property?
Ahí está.
Si está antes de la R, esa es mi duda que tenía.
Ahí está. Very good. So, you could feel that whenever they pronounce any of the plosive, you will listen, you will see that at the beginning. Yeah, here. Listen to it.
What?
The platoon is dead. Face facts, Tony.
So what are we gonna do? We have no reinforcements, no food.
No, we still have food in the basement. I saw potatoes and some dried pasta.
Okay. Which are the consonant sounds that you felt they split whenever they pronounce them? Hola. ¿Pueden, por favor, acompañarme en esta situación? Porque si no, como que le estoy explicando a la nada.
Maybe the word pasta
Okay, so whenever
or
they pronounce,
potato.
yes, whenever they pronounce voiceless plosive sound, they split. Yes, as in dry pasta, potatoes, personal, pack, and all that. So the thing with aspiration, it can be seen, as said here in the previous video, the two characters exaggerate the pronunciation of voiceless plosive sound in words like picture, potatoes, and pasta. Why not in potatoes? Because the first syllable is unstressed. Yes, potato. Yes, no potato, potato.
Yes.
Yeah, it has a schwa at the beginning of the word. That's why it's unaccented. If it's unaccented, it will never take aspiration. That is the main rule. Yes,
Right.
it's like
Yes.
instant. You see the syllable that is aspirated, that is accented, and it starts with any of the three voiceless plosives, and mainly it is followed by a vowel. That syllable, that consonant sound, voiceless consonant sound, will be aspirated. But rule number one, that is that it must be accented in order to be aspirated. Because if it is
Right.
accented, it will imply an extra effort in pronouncing. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And it says here, watch the rest of the
Yes,
video
yes.
for more examples. And however, in contradicting the main rule of aspiration, because I told you at the beginning of the subject, everything in phonetics is contradicting. Yeah, you contradict one rule that it was just mentioned. Yes, everything is about breaking the rules. The emphasis implosion for the same voiceless sound also applied to those followed by another consonant sound instead of a vowel. Why? Because, again, the main requirement for having aspiration is that the syllable must be accented. As in pretty, yes, you see that is stressed, pretty. Tricky, it has an extra burst of air. Or, as Joey said, property. Okay?
Carla,
Property.
y en el trabajo tenemos que seguir estas excepciones, digamos, tenemos que marcarlas también si encontramos alguna.
Por supuesto.
Con,
Con extra aspiration, por supuesto. ¿Ok?
En el trabajo lo encontré varios viendo el video.
Pero sos un genio.
Así que sí,
Excellent. Sí.
gracias.
Because I chose that text on purpose because to see if you can see the exception. Such exception of the rules such here are quite common among native speakers, especially in RP. Yeah, it's not as common in American English as it is in RP pronunciation. Yeah, and in the following slide, you will find the video's transcription focused on highlighting the aspiration process. So, bueno, cuando quiera, eco. Here's the transcription of that final dialogue. Yes, I found
Carla,
that picture. Sí.
Yo tengo una pregunta con respecto a
Yes.
esa transcripción. ¿Dónde está la transcripción de la palabra Paulette?
Ok.
Que solo
Why
tiene
is
una
it?
rayita.
Ajá. Why?
Y en because, también que solo tiene una rayita, no la H. ¿Qué significa?
Esa rayita se llama stress.
Ah, es la acentuación nomás, digamos.
Exacto. Y en Paulette, no. Porque si bien se escribe, se transcribe y se pronuncia con esta vocal, ¿sí? Con esta vocal larga, no es una palabra de origen inglés, ¿sí? Es francés.
Me sonaba francés.
Entonces no va a seguir las reglas. Y tampoco sabría decirles por qué. ¿Por qué está acentuado? Porque busqué la transcripción de este nombre y me saltó así en el diccionario. ¿Por qué va a estar acentuada también una sílaba que contiene schwa? En fin, la contradicción fonética.
En fin, la hipotenusa.
También. Lo mismo con because, ¿sí? La misma situación. No aplica exactamente para todo y cada una de las palabras, por ende. ¿Sí? Pero en el resto sí les marqué. Donde tenga la sílaba acentuada, va a tener la diacrítica. Picture, pack, personal, property, picture again, pack again, and 2 years. Okay? Did you could understand aspiration?
Yes.
Yes.
All of
What
you.
I missed what I missed a little bit, it was why the word because. What
Uh,
was that about it?
because, yeah, even though if you pronounce it, you will see the verse of air in the plosive sound, yeah, because.
Mm.
But the transcription, yes, unless it's for emphasis, always is with schwa.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the contradicting part of this.
Okay.
Yeah, it has a schwa. According to the citation form in the dictionary, it has a schwa. Yes. What
Always
about
extra,
the?
so it doesn't have something like a strong form. It's always a schwa.
It has a strong form with vowel number 6, if I'm okay. But it's not very common because it's mostly a conjunction. It's
Okay.
not very regular to see it at the beginning of a sentence because you don't start a sentence with a conjunction, but as this is a dialogue and it's from a comedy or something like that, you could justify the reason why it's weak.
But
Mhm.
Carla, it is
Mhm.
in an accented syllable
What?
because
It's
the
accented, no unaccented.
accented, yeah.
Mhm.
Why we cannot mark aspiration?
Because of the schwa. You see the contradiction?
Yeah, but that is accented. For that reason, I said that.
Okay. If we go to the video again, just here,
Because, Vincent.
that because was pronounced in strong form or weak form?
Weak form.
Because, Vincent.
Weak form.
Weak form. And once again, what I did was transcribing in the way the person pronounce it. Yes?
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
That's mainly the
Yeah,
reason
because
because
I thought
Mhm.
that I heard something like an expiration for that was my question.
it was very subtle, very subtly aspirated. It wasn't profusely pronounced. It wasn't because in strong form. It was because. So,
Mhm.
as I told you at the beginning of the year, you have to transcribe in the way you felt or perceived or heard that person pronounced. Yes, and then based on that, you explain your transcription and you explain if it's contradicting what the rule says. That's the idea of the subject. You analyze what how people actually speak, and contrast with how the theory proposes those allophones. You see? Am I clear?
Yes, yes,
Are you
it's clear.
following me?
Yes.
All of you, do you have any other question about aspiration? Was it clear enough for you?
Yes.
It is clear.
All of you understood?
Yes.
Any
Yes.
single of
Yes.
you? Okay, yeah, and apart from that,
Yes.
this lesson is being recorded, so you could watch it again if you want it. So if we are doing good with that, we can move to the voicing. Okay, can you tell me what you understood about the voicing? So I can
So
stop
basically,
speaking. Mm-hmm.
I could explain a little bit of what I understood. So basically, whenever we have a Lenny sound being preceded by a voiceless fortis plosive sound,
Which are Lenny sounds?
the laterals, the semivowels.
Lenny's sounds? Okay, how would you define what a Lenny sound is?
No. I mean, no, that's not what I'm. You know what I'm saying. The lateral sound, the semivowels. Those sounds mainly.
Okay.
So whenever those are preceded by a voiceless plosive sound, so they are devoiced. Those sounds are devoiced, basically. Other thing that I understood is that whenever the word, it's the utterance is at the end of a pause. It's basically next to a pause. You have to devoice every voiced consonant except nasals at the beginning and at the end of the utterance.
Okay. Muy bien. What about the rest of you? How would you define with your own words what the voicing is? With your own words.
For me too is when semivowels, I mean the lateral and approximant, lose their vibration.
Why?
In the sorry. In the end and y al principio del utterance, no me acuerdo.
Okay.
I remember that.
Very good. So the voicing is the process by which certain voiced or Lenny's consonant sounds is the same and different terminology for the same concept. Consonant sounds mainly the sonorant, the lateral, alveolar, approximant, semivowel, and the palatal semivowel lose some of its voicing, when they are preceded by the voiceless plosive sounds. So because of the aspiration of the voiceless sound, it's like it suck those consonant sounds suck some of the voicing of the following sounds, making them a little bit devoiced. The is a prefix that means what?
Without.
Without or with less. Yeah, it is like it loses something or some part of it. The voicing is the process of taking off some voicing to the voiced sounds when they are preceded, that means before, they are preceded by the voiceless alveolar plosives. The aspiration of the plosive sounds make the sonorant the voice. ¿Sí? Es como si fuera una aspiradora de voicing, le saca un poquito. Por la plosión de los, justamente de estos voiceless plosive. ¿Se entiende?
Carla,
Yes.
dice mainly sonorants y esas consonantes, ¿sería principalmente esas pero también otras? ¿Que serían todas las otras?
Principalmente esta, porque el resto de las consonantes...
Sí, porque en los ejemplos que vos dejaste vi otras marcadas y me confundí, por eso te pregunto.
Claro, pero porque esas están marcadas al comienzo de diatrons.
Y al final
¿sí?
de la
Y
utterance.
al final, o sea, antes de una pausa. ¿Sí?
Y casi
Ahí
siempre va a estar así al comienzo y al final de una pausa.
Cuando vean una palabra que se transcribe de esa forma y comienza con alguna de esas consonantes, van a ser devoiced. ¿Ok?
Sí, pasa que en el ejemplo está Joey, because, Vincent, esas están con devoicing.
Ahora vemos, don't worry.
Profe,
Sí,
¿tiene que ver algo con si es acentuado o no es acentuada esa determinada palabra?
Para nada.
¿No?
No.
Ah, ok.
Por eso es tan fácil. Porque cuando algunas de estas 4 consonantes, que es la regla principal, estén precedidas por alguna de estas 3, en la transcripción, no en el regular spelling, eso es como muy importante, ¿sí? En la transcripción, no es lo mismo que el spelling, eso tengan en presente. Sí, ¿alguna otra pregunta? Something? Anything? No? Good. Furthermore, voiced consonant sounds are devoiced at the beginning and end of an utterance or before a pause. Hence, the reduction in the vibration of the vocal folds. However, contrary to devoicing, the voiceless glottal fricative, the same that corresponds to the diacritic of the aspiration, this voiceless glottal fricative sound may become a bit voice. It's like in the opposite way of devoicing. Instead of becoming devoiced, yes, it becomes a little bit voiced, yes, because the glottal sound is already a voiceless sound, and it's the most voiceless sound of all the consonants. So it's the opposite of devoicing, becomes a little bit voiced when that sound is surrounded by vowel sounds. And why is that? Because vowel sounds, of course, as you know, are voiced. There's no vowel sound. Any vowel sound is voiceless. All of them. The 12 vowel sounds, pure vowel sounds, are voiced. So such feature is shown in the following transcription. That is still part of the same one.
Carla,
the previous one. Yes.
te pregunto algo de ese punto. ¿Sería cuando tiene una vocal adelante y una atrás? ¿O solo cuando tiene una? No importa si está atrás o adelante.
What do you know about surrounded? What does it mean,
Rodeado.
surrounded? Okay. Rodeado significa rodeado.
¿Atrás y adelante?
Atrás y adelante, o sea, tiene que estar entre vocales.
Exactamente. Surrounded means adelante, atrás, por todos lados, rodeado. ¿Sí? No solamente adelante, ni solamente o solamente atrás. Rodeado. Adelante y atrás. ¿Sí? Ahí sí. Si no, no. Si falta una de las dos, ya no se puede. Y también, muy importante, todos estos aspectos pueden ser within word or at word boundary. ¿Sí? Excepto esta parte. ¿Sí? Within word or at word boundary. Otra cosa. Nasal sounds are never devoiced. No. Why? Because it doesn't correspond with the place of articulation. Can somebody think of a way of explaining why vowels, nasal sounds cannot be devoiced? Can you think of an explanation? No? Good. The following video, you will watch it by your own and explains very, very, very easily the concept of devoicing. So here we have some examples of this, of devoicing. Please try to clean quickly. The alveolar lateral is preceded by a voiceless bilabial plosive. That's why it becomes